Okay. Let's see if we're up and running. Okay, I think we are. All right. Hi, everyone. This is Neil Mittel from FTC Team 14481 Don't Blink. And today I'm here joined by Vikram, and we're going to be going over the engineering portfolio and all the awards that come with it. Okay. I'm going to just put my headphones in. Here, Vikram, do you want to give yourself a little intro?
Yeah, I'm Vikram. I'm on Don't Blink. I'm also a programmer, but both me and Neil do portfolio and other parts of the team. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So let's dive right into it. The first thing I want to start off by going over. Oh, I think I shared the wrong window. Sorry about that. Okay, so the first thing I want to start off by going over is the competition manual and some of the changes that that were placed into this year's competition manual and what kind of changed from the previous years. We're going to go over what some previous portfolios looked like as well, but just to show you what's changed, we're going to go over this competition manual really quick. So here's the Inspire Award. Wait, Vikram, do you have any um, big changes that you can think of that would really change up the game for judged awards?
Um, I don't think there's anything that's too huge. I just know there's like a lot more detail with what they're expecting, which is nice.
Yeah, I think if you're a rookie going into this, something that's really helpful is just looking over this entire section to understand, okay, what should I do for my outreach? How can I fulfill these requirements? And then how can I best show the judges a couple things? My journey of how I got here in terms of my outreach. What did I do? How did it impact the community? Right? So let's dive a little bit more into what Motivate is and what Connect is. So Motivate is where you're trying to make first and STEM louder in your community. So this can be through robot showcases, or starting an FL team, or doing things to make the organization of First a lot bigger, and so that more people can know about it. Vikram, do you want to give your 2 cents on this?
Yeah, Motivate is definitely like one of the bigger parts of the portfolio, especially like it's all about like pushing what First wants, I guess, which is spreading their message. So like being able to convey that in the best possible way is mainly what they're looking for. And like in addition to that, they're also looking for a lot of the required things. So those like might seem a little bit different than what the Motivate Award like description is, but it's also like as it says, it's about taking being like part of a team and also motivating as with the team. So so yeah, there's like a lot of things that need to be included, but this is definitely a big part of the award category or
Yeah,
all of the awards.
and the awards start on page 35/34 of the competition manual. So if you need some more information on them from what other than what we're saying, then definitely make sure to come here and read through it, because it can be really helpful for when you're making your portfolio and understanding the guidelines. Um, the next award that we think is really important is your Connect. So, Connect in terms of outreach is where you are connecting with industry professionals and then establishing mentors that will help you with your process recurringly, right? So there's lots of different terms in FTC and in the competition manual, and their definitions which clearly state what they mean. And you want to make sure that you're using all those words correctly, because if you're in the judging room and you say you mentored someone and they ask you, okay, so what does that mean? What do you mean by mentoring? You want to make sure you give the right answer, and you want to make sure that you actually did do that, right? So Mentoring is where you're recurringly and on a recursive or on a recurring basis, you're helping a team or helping someone, right? Assisting is where you help them one time, and then there are a couple more terms that you guys can read into. What about you? Do you have anything to add to this, Vikram?
Um, Not too much. Mainly just like getting like connections is one of the biggest parts about the connect award. So there's like a lot of other ways to, I think like so like when you're doing other things like fundraising, it's really easy to supplement that with the connect award, or like working on the connect award. Like if you're talking to a sponsor, then it's really easy if they're willing to fundraise you, then it'd be pretty easy to also get them to have a call with you and potentially get them on as a mentor or someone that can help you, at least in, in terms of your robot or in terms of outreach too. So there's a lot of ways to definitely get this one. So yeah.
Yeah. So I think the chat really wants the Think Award, so we'll go over that now. Um, Think Award in terms of the portfolio and in terms of your season is really based on your engineering journey and how you guys came to think of like different and creative ideas inside of your robot. So an example could be like, oh, we made this 4 degree of freedom outtake arm to achieve a certain task, and we used like some control mechanism or code to make sure that our robot is always pointing in the same direction and like things like that. So that kind of falls a little bit under control, but what the judges are looking for is something that is creative and different, that is kind of differing or differentiating you from the rest, and they want to see how you got there, right? So like they want to see all the iterations of your robot, and that's something that's really important, not for just the judges but also for your team, right? You guys should be making iterations and you should be documenting all of them. So in the beginning of this season, we had a claw intake, but now we switched to a an active intake. Something we are definitely going to do is take that claw intake into the judging room and show them, okay, here's how it looks. This is what we initially had in our robot, and this is what we actually used. Now we're doing this, right? And you want to document that. You want to take photos of your old mechanisms and kind of show that journey to the judges. How did we get to our point right now, and why is our robot so good? Do you have anything you want to add to this, Vikram?
Not really. I think you explained that pretty well. It's like this is the thing award is definitely an important award when it comes to, like when it comes to ranking as well. If you look at the award ranking, Think Award is pretty highly ranked. It's just below Inspire. So it shows you how important showing your like design process actually is, and shows how important like actually representing the robot and how your team worked with the robot is, like actually happened. Also, like another some like tips that I know, some things that I've seen at least in competitions is that a lot of teams use like boards, like pegboards, or they bring boxes
Yeah.
of all their previous parts. And it's really
Mm-hmm.
cool to see those kinds of things on their pit, or if they bring it to the judging room. It's definitely something that's really powerful. And a lot of people could definitely do that. Obviously, it takes a lot of time, but I'm sure there's a benefit, to putting in that time and effort for this award.
Yeah. Um, Guys, let's just keep it family friendly in the chat. All right, moving on. We kind of went over motivate, um, innovate. Do you want to go over this, Vikram?
Yeah. So the Innovate award is, kind of also built off of the robot. So this is kind of where your CAD, the actual like details about the robot mechanism, that's where those come in. So here you could definitely see the design, the thought process of like why does this thing work, and why it's like beneficial to your robot over something else. So instead of showing the journey, it's showing the end product and why that end product is actually good and why it's important or better than other mechanisms. So, like if you go through the criteria, it shows, you want to like it's required to show how this mechanism is creative and unique. You want to show how you got to this design solution, how like why does this complete the game objectives, and like some, pros and cons to the objective as well, or to the mechanism as well. So these are all
Yeah,
things that you definitely want to target, and especially if you like have CADs of your robot, it's really easy to display this too.
Yeah. So speaking of CAD, someone in the chat asked if you needed CAD for the Think Award. And I think it's important to note that this year and past couple of years, FTC has made it very clear that you don't need much to um, like fulfill these awards. I think CAD is really important, and I think like doing it for this is or like using it to make your awards look better is um is really important, or at least like making it so that you can show it can be really good for your team. But I think if your team doesn't use CAD and you guys are just kind of free building, it's not necessarily a bad thing to just like the take photos of the iterations you've made on your robot over time. So if you can take real life photos too and plug them in your engineering portfolio, and that can be really helpful. Okay, so control award, Vikram, you can take this one too.
Yeah. So the control award is also one of these awards. Like the Innovate award is built off of hardware, the control award is built off of your software. So in this award, you want to show how you're using your software to control your mechanisms in a way that's like a little bit unique and a little bit special. That also is helps you guys a lot. So you're showing kind of what's different than what other teams might have, and and you're also showing something that might be unique. So, and some of the things that are usually looked at in this is that your robot, like autos and your robot control, actually works in the matches. So this is one of, I'm not sure if this is the only one or if it's like one of two awards that are actually looked at by the judges during matches. So in order to get this, you have to have a working auto, like a consistent, somewhat consistent auto, and a working teleop. So that's like something that's pretty different compared to other awards. And for this one, you also want to be able to like display the actual algorithms behind things and kind of how those benefit you compared to something else that might be simpler. So like showing like your PID algorithm would be pretty could be pretty important here. Or if you develop something else that other teams might not use too often, like a unique OpenCV algorithm to detect the samples, something like that would definitely have a place in the controller work. So yeah. Anything else?
No, I think you pretty much covered it. Something that's really important for just general like advancement in competition and in terms of this award is just making sure that you're actually consistent and you're not just putting things on there just to put it on there, right? Like lots of teams will just say they have the best control in the world, but then when it comes to actual matches, the robot isn't working, and that's something that's really important. So I think you should really make sure that what you're saying is actually happening in your matches because judges will look and judges will judge you based on that.
Yeah.
Finally, there's the design award. The design award is basically where it's not much about the journey, but more about how things are actually working, similar to Innovate. Um, it's kind of looking at if your robot has good design features, it looks good, um, and it's just overall like a good robot that works well. Um, there's Judge's Choice, Winning Alliance, Finalist Award, and Dean's List. Okay, yeah, so I think those are most of the important awards in terms of the engineering portfolio. Now let's take a look at some engineering portfolios that. Now let's take a look at some engineering portfolios that have won in the past. Um, this one is Cuddlefish's portfolio from Freight Frenzy. Um, portfolios have to be there are a couple of requirements for portfolios. They have to be 15 pages long. The minimum size font is 10. Um, what else is there? There have to be page numbers. Am I missing anything, Vikram?
I think that's it for requirements.
Could you find the page number and then let us know what it is? I want
Yeah.
to talk through this. Okay, cool. Um, so this is already a really nice looking port, right? The aesthetics matter, but just make sure that you get your points across. Um, Starting off with the team plan, some game strategy and team goals. This is something that's really important in your portfolio. Um, It's been highlighted in the past few years, and it's something that we think you should really have in there. Um, and your goals is really important too, right? What do you want to do this season in terms of maybe outreach, your technical, and your programming? How do you want to improve on all those things and then eventually become the best team you can be? And if you highlight those things and then show what you are like consistently and actually working on, that can be really good for your team. Vikram, do you want to talk a little bit about this page? Actually, I got this one. You can take the next
Yeah,
one.
you can do it. I just found the page just now, so I'll just put that in the chat.
Okay, awesome. What page is it? Just so that.
It's page 31.
Okay, so page 31 in the competition manual highlights um, what requirements your engineering portfolio needs. Um, this is the design process. So this is kind of aimed toward a couple of the awards. It's Innovate, Think, mostly Think, and Design, right? It's highlighting, okay, does this robot actually follow the design process? How do they go from brainstorming to building and then to iterating on the robot? You want to highlight this for sure during your engineering portfolio so the judges can understand, okay, you got from here to here, and how did you do that? Because that's what they really want to see. Um, Here's another page where they're showing that, right? They came from something like this, and now they're looking like this. And this is really good for the judges because it helps them understand, okay, you did this in this time and you did this in this way. So they have their V1, their V2, and their V3 all shown and laid out for us. And now we have like one of the pages of their mechanical section. So here's something that's actually really interesting. Lots of different teams choose to go about their portfolio in different ways. This team particularly wanted to highlight their mechanical section first and then go on to their outreach and etc. Right? So um, here we can see like how the drivetrain works, and then on this side we have their software. This is a pretty interesting actually. So if you guys want to pause the video and take a look, you can.
Yeah. Also, something to add is I think like Neil was saying, each team does their portfolio differently. And I think something unique about this one is that they have both the hardware and software like on one page. And having it shown where like their software is bolstering their hardware, they're showing like the same like the features on the right that power the features on the left. That kind of design is definitely unique. It's not something that's required, but it's something that like helps show the judges what's going on in a way clear sense so they know really how the software is tied into the hardware. Like they talk about their localization and their movement code, like with their RAM City controller and their power like tracking. That's those are all things that are combined with the drivetrain. So showing all of those things together is definitely something that's really interesting about this portfolio.
Yeah. Um, Here's their intake, something very similar, but you can see how it changed over time and some of the features that they have in their intake. I think something that you really want to make sure of is that the judges can clearly understand, okay, what am I talking about, right? Because they have to look at so many different portfolios. So they don't want to have to read through every single page. So something this team did was highlight all their words in different colors so that the judges can see, okay, this is the problem, this is the solution. It does this and does this, right? Accidentally grab two, I can see that right away. And then I can see, okay, we did this and this and this to fix it, right? So you guys want to make sure you highlight the most important things and make it as clear and easy for the judges to look at as possible. So Vikram made a great point. The fact that their programming is on this side and their mech is on this side makes it really easy for judges to understand, okay, how is it actually working? And it is working. So
Yeah. Also building upon that, like they have arrows throughout their all their diagrams.
yeah,
Like that's something that definitely shows like makes it really easy to see what's actually happening and how things work. Like you can see which way the gears are turning, how that changes things, and like giving the judges that kind of understanding really makes your design a lot more powerful because then it'll stick in their head. They'll try to think of if they're like looking at it and trying to match all the movements together, it helps them like not only try to understand it, but also memorize it and like memorize your team name at least, because they're like actually putting their head and trying to think of how these things work, and making it clear like this definitely helps that happen.
Yeah, 100%. Um, and this port honestly looks super nice. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, they have really, it's really clear and it's really easy to understand. Okay, this is what's going on. Okay, let's skip over to, oh,
Wait, oh, they didn't post their outreach. Damn.
okay,
So
so
that's
I
six
guess
pages of just robot. That's
it's,
crazy.
yeah, this is crazy. So, um, they didn't seem to post the outreach portion of their portfolio. I guess this is what they thought was a lot better for them. But okay, let's head into some more ports. Okay, what are you thinking for award? I think we go for Inspire.
Yeah.
And then we can do regionals. We'll just search. Okay. Do you have any? Let's look at Infinite Turtles.
Yeah. Infinite Turtles is usually really consistent with their awards, so it's nice
Yeah.
to look at that.
Okay. Not sure why this is like. Okay. Well, this is their first page. It's kind of cool. They have lots of their um, key details highlighted. But again, something that we see right away. We see their introduction, and then we see their team plan. And their team plan is highlighting all the important um, parts of their robot and their team. So, okay, how do we work? What's our organization? You want to make it really clear to the judges. This is what our team is, and this is what we do. Um, they included their business plan, which is also like a really important part of um, of the judging process and of like engineering portfolios. Your business plan helps the judges understand, okay, it's not just the parents paying for all of this. They actually did the funding to actually get
Yeah.
the robot built.
And that kind of just like the sheets there too really makes it clear like what they
Yeah,
actually did,
they
how much
actually
money they actually
understand.
gained.
I think
So
this
definitely, yeah.
is this why is this portfolio
It's so small, right? It's a slideshow.
yeah. Yeah, I was really
Kind of weird.
yeah, but it's Infinite Turtles. Um but they have lots of stats here. They show a couple quick things that are important about them, and I think that's something that you can really um, take away from. They are highlighting what's most important and making it very easy for the judges to see what they've done. FTC files, game manual 0. Um, these are
Oh,
all their complete.
1441 is there. Look at
Oh, look at that! Look at that!
that.
um, so this is just more of the things that they've done. They have their outreach, and then finally we get to their design process, which they've highlighted in these couple pages, and they show their design process and etc. etc. So um, I think it's a really good thing to take away from these ports. Let's see in
So if you guys
power
have any
play.
questions, make sure to put them in the chat. We'll be sure to answer them.
Yeah. Um, this is a more recent port, which did well. I think they won Inspire. Here again, we see their team overview, and then their strategy is something that lots of teams usually do.
Yo,
This
Joe, this
team,
is ultimate goal.
there's also, oh yeah, this is ultimate goal. Why does it say this is power play?
Uh, oh yeah, that's weird. Wait,
All right, well,
go to the other website. Maybe.
um,
Oh yeah, pull out the Hive Mind one. That might be nice to look at.
the Hive Mind one. Where is it?
Wait, go to the other website.
Uh, I don't want to open my Discord.
Oh, it'll show, right? Wait, you want me to just send it in the chat?
Yeah, you could send it in the chat. That works.
I sent it.
Can we have a 730 Axon giveaway because 730 subscribers? Um, oh, you mean that chat? Oh wow, I should have known that.
Yeah.
Are you sure you sent it?
Oh, that chat. Wait, let me send it again.
Okay.
I put it in the YouTube chat.
Yeah, I know it didn't even show up there though. Okay,
Okay.
so here is a Hive Mind sport. Um, you can dive into it. This is last year's sport, which is very recent, and you
Tennis
can
too.
see that some things have changed, right? We have um, we have a more now we have a uh, what do you call this?
Critical portrait,
Vertical
right? Portrait?
portrait
Yeah.
portfolio, which is what's more of the norm. They were a rookie team at the time. Probably could have used Rookie Rescue to help them out. Um,
Yeah.
but here we see again their team intro and kind of their goals and their budgeting, which helps the judges understand. Okay, um, we reached out to all of these different places so that they could fund us, and then um, we could build our robot. They have some really nice um, visuals here for the judges to also understand from. So judges don't have to like say, okay, I think they did this and this, right? This explains exactly how much money they spent and where they spent it and where they got it from. So this is really, really nice. Um, Here's their team plan, which everyone should have. They go into some of their mentors and some of the people they reached out to. And here are the resources they made. This is something that lots of teams do, including Don't Blink. We have State Factory, FTC GPT, FTC Files, which is slowing down a little bit, and FTC Rookie Rescue to help the community. Lots of teams do this so that they can help the community out, and this counts as a way of like motivate, and it can be really good to um, reach out and make the community learn more about First, and just in general learn a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um, Outreach. So they've blurred out lots of things, but I think you guys get the the gist of it. Um, you don't need to necessarily make your port have lots and lots of information. Instead, it's actually better to have less words and more pictures and just make it as clear for the judges as you can to understand.
Yeah.
Vikram, do you have any final things to say?
I think like just something to know is like rather than just like saying what you have, you really want to show like the story of how you guys started all the way to how you got to your current design, how your outreach is like developed from one point to another. Showing that kind of story like really adds a lot, and that's what you see in a lot of these inspiring ports. So it's definitely important to kind of show that and make sure that like the judges actually understand what's going on with like rather than having blocks of text, they actually are able to see things and visualize what's happening. So those
Yeah.
are the most important things.
So this page is a really good example of think. Um, they're highlighting their iterations here. They show how they changed and how they use a camera to um, make their system the best it could be. And also, they showed a lot of their math. This is something we haven't highlighted yet, but math is something that's really important for the Think Award because it shows, again, why you did things, your journey to getting there. Um, this is really cool, actually. Okay, so thank you all for tuning in to FTC Rookie Rescue. We hope to see you next Sunday, which we will be, and we'll be posting our uh, our subject for next meeting soon. Thank you all. Bye.
Bye.